Get ready.
You know what to do, Chick.
Look at Chick Smooth.
Hey, Chick Smooth, appreciate all the coverage that you've been doing. I've been watching your shit for a while. I just subscribed to your shit too, bro.
Oh boy, here we go, you guys. Looks like Gervonta Tank Davis is not too happy with Cameron Mace right now. Now, last night was the boxing match between Pitbull and Lamont Roach. And guess who were one of the promoters of the fight? That's right, Cameron Mace. If you guys watch their shows or if you guys keep up with them on social media, these guys have been promoting the fight for months now.
Who can expect a masterclass / destruction of Pitbull Saturday, man? I ain't gonna lie. I'm
Destruction?
pulling all the tricks out. Yeah, I'm pulling all the tricks out the bag. I'm in shape, you know.
Mark, hold on now, man. Now we know. Hold on now. Give me a minute. Hold on now. Listen, man. We know you one of the top boxers. We know. I'm talking about when it comes to boxing skill level, IQ level. You know, I very rarely put people up there with Floyd Mayweather or Shakur because his IQ is really good too, and your IQ is right there. Destruction, though. You want some destruction shit?
I'm telling you, I'm like, I can box and all that, but I'm trying to, as I'm going boxing and all, I'm trying to hurt some shit in there, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Now you trying to hurt shit. That's what I like to hear.
And of course, when you're doing interviews and promotions, people are obviously going to ask you about Tank Davis. If you guys watch boxing, back in 2021, Gervonta actually defeated Pitbull. And then earlier this year, he tied with Lamont Roach. So it was a no-brainer that Tank was going to come up in their interviews. Stat Baby actually asked him the question, hey, do you guys think Tank deserves the winner of this match? And as sports commentators, they kept it real. Here's what they said.
Why he not playing it? Copyright.
Mitch, Tank was actually scheduled to fight Lamont Roach, but according to Roach, he backed out of the fight. Then he goes on to take a fight with a YouTuber in Jake Paul, which was a fight that Tank eventually backed out of. He said Gervonta Davis is an actual walking human piece of garbage. Working with him is an absolute nightmare. The unprofessionalism, the bizarre request, the showing up hours late to shoot, to the numerous arrests and related accusations and lawsuits.
Appreciate you, Pate. You already know the vibes with us. Good looking, broski.
If you support this man, you support the most vile sin a man can commit. Now, Jake kind of took it a little too far at the end, but right now, Tank is not a reliable fighter. I don't know what he's going through, but the man obviously has shit going on behind the scenes. So this morning, after watching Cam and Mace show so much love to Lamont Roach, and Cam was also in his corner after his fight last night, Tank woke up on timing. The man has not been on Twitter for 3 months, but this morning he said fuck that. He dedicated his first tweet in months to Cameron. He said, ask Coach Cameron how does his throat feel. Then somebody...
Peace. Oh, Cameron about to violate him the ball.
He gets in the comments and lets him know, yo, don't forget about Mace. He's been talking crazy too. Gervonta Davis goes on to say what he said. I'll pull up to that show and beat the shit out of Mace. Hey, first of all, Tank, that is illegal, my brother. You will go to jail again. But to be fair to Tank Davis, I can see how you feel slighted by Cam and Mace. These guys have been talking slightly crazy about him over the last couple of years.
Top form boxing at the very moment. Terrence Crawford isn't retiring. Of course, Terrence Crawford's #1. I would put Shakur #2. A lot of people will say he doesn't have a high knockout rate, but name of the sport isn't knock me out, knock you out, you punch me, punch you. High IQ boxer, he's #2. Canelo's still active, I got him #3. #4 is tough, man.
Usyk or Inoue?
You know what it is, the heavyweight title ain't been in America so long. You're right, Usyk should be probably #2 or 3. So we're going to put him in the top 4, absolutely.
After his tie to Lamont Roach earlier this year, Cam and Mace both went on their show and agreed that Gervonta lost.
Man, that Jim getting that money.
Come on, man.
No, I think he lost.
Yeah, Tank's still top 5 though. Tank's still top 4. They bugging out. Tank get in that ring and knock these niggas out. Knock niggas out.
The fight, if we're being really honest. Tank, you lost that fight. I mean, the only reason they gave you the fight was because you would make more money as a champion, but there's no way it's a draw, and they didn't call the knockdown. If they called a knockdown, you lost that unanimously. So I'm going to go on the record before everybody else tells you 100% you lost without blinking, hand up the guard, strike me right here. You lost that fight, and I think everybody believes that. I think everybody believes that. I don't think nobody, being really honest with you, would say that you won that fight. And I think this makes a great second fight if he fights him again. And I think this gave Shakur Stevens even more confidence than he had before. He walked out of there thinking he's ready. I was happy to see the fight.
Okay.
Yeah, and just to piggyback off of what you said, after this performance, this definitely looks like Shakur could be a better boxer than Tank. See, the thing about it with Tank, to me, is that Tank, when he fights, he knows he could turn up something in the middle of that fight to knock somebody out. He usually starts off slow, round 3, 4, maybe 5, 6. He starts turning it up to where he outsmarts his opponent because they forget their strategy. They try and get into a phone booth with him, and then he ends up knocking you out, to where Roach stuck to the game plan the whole time. He stuck to the game plan. I'm with Mace. I think he lost the fight. That referee has a lot of experience. For you not to call that knee a knockdown is crazy, bro. It's crazy. And we know, as boxing fans, or those that's really boxing fans, the only knockdown of Floyd Mayweather's career is when his hand was hurting and he took a knee. He still ended up winning the fight, as we know he's 50-0, but he took a knee and it counted as a knockdown. For you to take a knee and the referee not call it, that's crazy. Then the excuse after why he took a knee was even more crazy. He said he had—
Yo, I was looking at the highlights. Yeah, it definitely like Pitbull was putting them hands on him. Pitbull was definitely putting them hands on him.
Grease in his eye. People fight with blood in their eye, all type of stuff, from headbutts, etc. The leverage that you have as a superstar is amazing. And listen.
And then you had last year when Cameron and Mace were actually questioning the quality of his opponents. And then Mace goes a little too far. He went on to say that he believes a 47-year-old Floyd Mayweather can still compete with Gervonta Davis if they were to fight right now.
Good question, though.
Yeah.
Who did Gervonta beat that was equivalent to Sugar Shane? Who did he beat that's equivalent to a Cotto?
Listen, I mean, I don't have his...
To Canelo. To a Canelo.
Come on, man. Listen. I think a lot of those fighters are great fighters.
He smoked them niggas.
You can't. He smoked who?
Floyd made them look like they were not even good. De La Hoya, Pacquiao.
Listen, he didn't fight De La Hoya in his prime. Mosley rocked him. That was the only person.
And that's what I'm talking about. Did you see how he responded to it?
Yeah, listen. Floyd is the champ. He's the great. He's the champ.
That's all I'm saying.
But let's not act like he didn't fight these. He didn't fight De La Hoya in his prime. Fuck no. That's a whole different fight.
That.
Okay, who else?
Say something.
I think Tank ain't gonna go out like Brana. Brana went out sad, but Brana was never as good as Tank though. So I don't think he gonna fall off that bad. And he might still be training heavy. You feel me? I doubt he not training if this is his fucking what he does. I'm pretty sure he training and still sparring. They gonna beat the shit out of some shit when he get in there. Especially after that. He going through his own shit though. All that domestic violence shit. He keep getting booked and all that. That's what's fucking him up for real. It ain't the boxing. I think he's sturdy.
Well, he didn't fight. He didn't fight Lomachenko. He didn't fight Lomachenko in his prime.
Listen. I'm just saying, we talking about Tank and Floyd. It's a new sheriff in town, man. Y'all gotta let that man get that youngster his time.
No, I'm saying it is his time, but you don't get dog status till you run through a dog. I mean, you're talking to dogs.
Killer, what y'all told me? 30-0.
Yeah.
28 knockouts.
30-0, 28 knockouts.
Come on, man. Y'all leave that man alone.
I know. We're not downplaying what he's saying. It's just, and this is what happens a lot when people are dealing with people who know sports. When you start comparing peoples to the greats, that's when this discussion happens. If we wasn't talking about Floyd, we would be talking about Gervonta as the gorilla of all gorillas, right? But when you put him in that aspect of looking in the light of Floyd, he's not Floyd yet. To me, that's my opinion.
I agree with that somewhat. But what I'm saying is, at 47 years old, I think it would be. I don't think Floyd's a 10 out of 10 fighter anymore. Just by age.
I think that speaks to his greatness that we even having a conversation.
Listen, there's no. We know Floyd is the champ. He great. But at 47 years old, if a fight took place next year and he's 48 against Tank, I'm taking Tank.
Yeah, next year I'll take Tank too. I'm talking about right now while he's pissed off with Tank and what Tank is doing. I think he could do that right now.
So if you're Gervonta Davis, you've been watching these guys criticize you, ridicule you and your skills, all for what? So I can see why you might feel a little bit spiteful right now towards him. But as a fighter, your job is to ignore criticism and go win boxing matches. The commentators are going to do their job. You threatening to pull up on them and beat them up is not going to change their opinions.
We'll get his ass clapped. Gervonta gonna get his ass shot. Nigga said he gonna pull up on them niggas. He gonna get his ass popped. Nah, he not fucking with Floyd right now. I don't give a fuck what. I mean, he'll fuck Floyd up right now. I don't go fuck with nobody say. Yeah, Floyd better chill the fuck out. They wilding now. Yeah, he is beating Mayweather ass right now, bro. Like, what are we talking about? Respect the Mayweather, but come on. Gervonta is a demon right now. Like, what are we talking about right now? They get mad old. That shit is not, nah. Hell no.
Crown prosecutors told the jury that.
Alright, we got the motherfucking Tales of Toronto. Tales of Toronto. Six Tails. He said, them old niggas. You think it's them old niggas. That's what niggas' problems be. That's what niggas' problems be. That's what niggas' problems be. It ain't gonna be them old niggas. You act like them niggas is from the streets, nigga. You think niggas won't kill a nigga for them niggas? Them old niggas ain't gotta do nothing. They ain't gotta do shit. You think you gonna come over there and come whip their ass? And they in Vegas, I'm pretty sure they got somebody with a licensed gun in there. Your ass gonna get popped. Your ass is gonna get popped for sure. You think you about to be coming around knocking niggas out because you a boxer? Alright, good luck. Good fucking luck. Tales of Toronto though. Let's get back to this.
Noah Anderson and Junior
Definitely need one for my boy Pangs.
Jamal Harvey and two other men drove into Regent Park on September 18th, 2021 and shot at three innocent victims who were simply in the wrong place at the wrong time.
There was a gang feud occurring between what was known as the Halal Gang, which is very heavily entrenched in this part of Regent Park right here. And they were feuding with a rival gang known as the Menace Gang.
The Crown says the victims were targeted because the accused had animus towards Regent Park.
People who were not gang members, who were innocent people that were shot by Menace Gang members that came into this neighborhood and felt that they needed to shoot somebody simply because they were in halal territory.
Yo, K1, respect for that. You never said my name, but you told the story on why we put the belt to ass. You proved.
Halal gang, nigga. About to go get me some chicken over rice right now. Finna go get me some chicken over rice. Chicken over lamb. Lamb over rice. Halal food.
Prove that what I was saying was true. We put the belt to your brother's ass,
On what block?
Round is on what block?
Halal gang, nigga.
What block?
You know what I'm saying? MG for Free the Gang campaign, man. It's all my young nigga J Money. You know how we rock it.
Halal gang, nigga. We live,
In
friends.
the middle of Canada's first housing project, a senseless act of violence would leave an entire
We live, hit that like button. Hit that motherfucking like button, though.
community shattered, and a rising rapper behind bars for life. His name was Junior Jamal Harvey, but on the streets and in his music, he went by J Money. Born on August 8, 2001, J Money grew up surrounded by the same money. Born on August 8, 2001, J Money grew up surrounded by the same harsh realities that shaped so many young men in Toronto's inner city. By just 17, he already had a youth record for the unauthorized possession of a restricted firearm and was placed on probation with a lifetime weapons ban. But despite that early warning, only a few years later, J Money would find himself at the center of one of Toronto's most shocking murders. The attack unfolded in Regent Park and was captured on surveillance cameras from beginning to end. What came next made the tragedy even harder to comprehend. Just 10 days after the murder, J Money returned to the studio with one of his co-accused and recorded a drill track dissing the same neighborhood where the shooting took place. The song, later titled Peppered, bragged about catching victims lacking, firing headshots, and leaving them dead on arrival.
Sheesh. Niggas be, I ain't gonna lie, niggas be bugging. How you don't feel like that's telling? Like, how you don't feel like that's talent? Like, niggas just do some shit and you go straight to the studio. How you don't feel like that's like some high shit? That shit crazy.
The lyrics matched the murder scene in chilling detail. To investigators, it wasn't just rap, it was evidence. And to the streets, it was self-snitching at its finest, a bold display of ego that turned...
That shit's stupid, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie, the youth getting dumber and dumber. It's like the younger they are, the dumber they are. I ain't gonna lie. The younger they are, the dumber they are. How the fuck you gonna kill somebody and go make a song about it? They gonna talk about it on the song. Like, that shit is stupid.
Real-life violence into a song for clout. J Money is an Alexandra Park-bred rapper representing Menace Gang, a downtown collective known for producing some of Toronto's most recognizable street artists and anthems. But what started as a local rap movement quickly became tied to a much larger and bloodier legacy. Behind the beats was a long-running feud that had been growing for over a decade. Alexandra Park and Regent Park, two downtown housing projects separated by less than 5 kilometers, had become locked in one of Toronto's most deadliest rivalries.
My days, bro, when you catch some, after it happened, it never happened. That's how that shit supposed to be. After it happened, it never happened. Niggas be just crashing. After that shit happened, they need everybody to know I did that shit. Yeah, nigga, me. I'm the nigga who did it. It was me who did it.
There's a gang feud occurring between what was known as the Halal Gang, which is very heavily entrenched in this part of Regent Park right here. And they're feuding with a rival gang known as the Menace Gang.
What began as territorial disputes and street-level grudges slowly evolved into an all-out war fought through violence and rap. Every diss track and every shooting fed into a cycle that blurred the line between music and murder. For the youth coming up in these neighborhoods, picking a side wasn't just about where you lived. It was about who you stood with and who you might die for.
Halal Gang.
The earliest roots of the rivalry between Regent Park and Alexandra Park trace back to two influential downtown Toronto crews, the Asian Assassins and Chin Pak. The Asian Assassins were based around Chinatown and Alexandra Park, made up mostly of young men of Vietnamese, Chinese, and Southeast Asian descent who grew up in the area's social housing blocks. They built their reputation through drug and firearms trafficking, along with a series of violent robberies that quickly drew the attention of law enforcement. Police investigations during the late 2000s revealed that some of their operations overlapped with organized crime groups linked to the Asian triads, particularly in gun smuggling and street-level drug networks that stretched across the greater Toronto area. Their rivals, Chin Pak, were a younger Asian Canadian crew operating out of Regent Park in the East End corridor. Initially small and localized, they became one of the first organized groups from Regent Park to directly challenge the Assassins' growing influence downtown. According to investigators, the feud ignited in 2011 when a fight broke out inside the Old Don jail between a Chin Pack member and a Project Original member, a known ally of the Asian Assassins. From that moment, retaliation followed retaliation, spilling across Toronto and even into York Region. Throughout the 2010s, the feud between these downtown crews left a trail of targeted killings and headline-grabbing violence.
Jail look mad small. That shit like a little building. That shit look mad small.
On March 30th, 2013, Michael Nguyen, a 23-year-old alleged member of the Asian Assassins, was gunned down execution style in the parking lot of Yorkdale Mall. A murder that investigators later confirmed was part of the ongoing gang conflict.
Both victims are known members of a violent Toronto street gang called the Asian Assassins.
CBC first reported on Monday that 23-year-old Michael Nguyen was one of the leaders. He and a 24-year-old man who survived the shooting were ambushed Saturday night. They were leaving Yorkdale Mall together when shots were fired.
Just weeks later, another high-profile shooting outside Vai Lounge in North York claimed the life of Tony Nguyen, who police also linked to the Assassins. The bloodshed continued on February 4th, 2014, when Peter Nguyen, believed to be a rising leader within the Asian Assassins, was ambushed and shot multiple times after his killers allegedly tracked his movements using a hidden GPS device. Police later confirmed that
niggas on your ass, nigga, put the track on.
His murder was retaliation for the earlier execution of Michael Nguyen, proving that the feud had evolved into a calculated cycle of revenge. The violence soon claimed more lives. On March 25th, 2014, 64-year-old Nak No was shot multiple times after answering the door of his Symington Avenue home. He died in his own doorway while his wife and another family member stood helpless inside. Toronto police later confirmed that Nak's son, Tan Tien No, was a rising Chin Pack member, a detail that suggested the gunman used his father as...
Niggas clipped his pops. J-Beds, they killed his pops. Damn.
Payback in the ongoing war. 4 years later, the cycle of violence returned once again. In March 2018, Tan Tien himself was killed in a shooting outside a North York bowling alley. Inside the building, an innocent woman, a bystander with no ties to gang activity, was also fatally struck, dying amid chaos she had no part in.
Court documents obtained by Global News suggest No was involved with organized...
You still can't hear me? I said I've been around.
crime. It's believed he was associated with Chin Pack, a gang that's been around in Toronto since the early 2000s.
This is not a random killing, it is targeted.
Noel's own father was the victim of a violent attack on March 25th, 2014. He was shot multiple times after he
fell in love with smacking niggas.
opened the front door of his Symington Avenue home.
At this point, it was clear the feud between the...
Yeah, man, that's definitely some sucker shit. You gonna pull up and kill a nigga pops? I mean, hey, that's a way to draw somebody out, but damn. What Pops had to do with it? What Pops had to do with it?
Asian Assassins and Chin Pack had spiraled far beyond street crews as the violence had reached whole families and everyday civilians. By the spring of 2014, police had linked 11 homicides and even more shootings to the long-running gang war between Chin Pack and the Asian Assassins. What began as personal disputes and territorial standoffs had evolved into one of Toronto's earliest and deadliest project wars. Entire communities were being caught in the crossfire, and detectives feared more bodies would fall if they didn't act fast. In May 2014, law enforcement launched Project RX and Project Battery, two large-scale anti-gang operations targeting Alexandra Park's Asian Assassins and Regent Park's Chin Pack and Sick Thugs. The raids led to over 50 arrests and the seizure of dozens of guns, drugs, and large amounts of cash. But even with key players locked up and guns taken off the street, the violence didn't disappear, it evolved. Younger generations watched older members fall to bullets in prison cells, and instead of backing away, they picked up the torch. By the mid-2010s, the long-standing feud between Alexandra Park and Regent Park had given rise to a new wave of rival crews. From Alexandra Park came Menace Gang, a younger group connected to the neighborhood's earlier street politics. Notable rappers include K-Money, Casper, J-Money, and Rolex Hami, whose music would later capture the gritty realities of life in Alexandra Park. 5 kilometers away in Regent Park, the Halal Gang began to emerge, a collective made up of artists such as Smoke Dawg, Moji, and Puffy Els, whose musical talent helped put Toronto's underground rap scene on the map. While the older generation's feud with
What up, though? Ain't shit, just chilling. You caught alive.
was fought in back alleys and housing blocks, this new wave brought the conflict into the spotlight by using music and social media. The tension between Alexandra Park and Regent Park took a darker turn after an incident that would ignite a wave of public humiliation and retaliation. Smoke Dawg, one of Halal Gang's rising rap stars at the time, was robbed of his chain. That same chain was later sold to Menace Gang rapper Vanali Stacks, who brazenly featured it in the music video for his diss track, Halal
I ain't cut it.
This was a move that many saw as a direct declaration of war between Alexandra and Regent Park affiliates.
You niggas only chillin' by the robber, cause I got knocked with my llama, car goes around like it's karma, who got your block hotter than a sauna, nigga, who?
A little over a year later, on May 28th,
I don't even think I ain't cut my shit down. I don't know why it's looking a little short. I don't know. I ain't comb my shit out. That should be too long.
2018, the feud erupted from music into real-world violence. K-Money and Casper were involved in a daytime shooting in Regent Park, where they attempted to target an individual believed to be affiliated with Halal Gang after spotting him walking through the neighborhood. The confrontation quickly spiraled out of control, leading to a high-speed police chase through downtown Toronto that ended with their arrest and a flood of media attention. According to court records, their homes, and even their parents' homes, were shot at multiple times for nearly a week straight prior to the shooting. In response, the brothers allegedly spun through Regent Park while high on Xanax, continuing the cycle of violence that had haunted both neighborhoods for over a decade. Just a month later, on June 29th, Smoke Dawg released his now iconic Fountain Freestyle. The video, filmed in the middle of Alexandra Park, was a blatant diss. By walking through the rival neighborhood on camera, Smoke Dawg was making a statement. He could move through enemy territory without fear. What might have looked like another freestyle to outsiders was actually a bold act of provocation, reinforcing how deeply music and street politics had become intertwined in Toronto's ongoing project wars. But the online warfare didn't stop there. Menace Gang member Rolex Hami took to social media, publicly declaring war on Regent Park and urging his 3,000 followers to shoot everybody in Regent. That phrase would soon become infamous, shortened into the acronym SERP, which he turned into the name Serp Gang, a phrase he often shouted in his tracks. A week after making the threats, Rolex made news headlines and was subject to a Canada-wide warrant facing a single charge, threatening death. Even though
stupid.
Though the feud had gone digital, the violence didn't stop, because just 3 years later it erupted again when 4 masked gunmen fired 59 shots in Regent Park, killing a beloved community worker and leaving an entire city in shock.
What up, though? Sabo.
It was Saturday, September 18th, 2021. Thane Murray, a beloved Regent Park community worker and mentor, was spending the evening with 2 childhood friends, Tony and Alan. They were just sitting at the edge of a Regent Park parking lot, talking and enjoying the early autumn air. Then, at around 8:50 p.m., 4 masked gunmen walked in from Gerrard Street. Without warning, they opened fire. The group unleashed a hailstorm of bullets, 59 rounds in total. Murray was hit 14 times, in the head, chest, lungs, and liver. He died instantly. His 2 friends were also struck. Alan was shot 9 times, left in a coma for 3 weeks. Tony was hit in the foot as he ran for his life. None of them were involved in gangs.
Niggas did a drill and aired out a bunch of civilians. Yo, I'm telling you, man. That's for that. I'm telling you, the streets is over. Later, Chris.
None of them had enemies. They were simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. The gunfire was so intense that it was captured on CCTV blocks away, where the sounds of dozens of rapid shots echoed through the night, followed by sirens.
Imagine not having beef with nobody, right? Because you know these documentaries be wrong. Sometimes they might say niggas was civilians, they had nothing to do with nothing, and niggas be all in. But just imagine, you didn't have a problem with a soul, and you and two of your friends just chilling, and niggas come shooting at you like this. Like,
by sirens.
What the fuck did you do? Like, sheesh.
In the wake of Thane Murray's death, many in Toronto began questioning whether the violence consuming the city had reached a point of no return. Just 11 days before Thane's killing, another tragedy had shaken the community, the September 7th, 2021 murder of Samuel Bokai, a University of Toronto graduate and community leader from the Jane and Finch area. Sam wasn't part of the streets. He was trying to lead others away from them, teaching trades and showing young men there was a better path. But even his positivity couldn't shield him from the chaos spreading through the city. Not long after his death, Toronto rapper Top 5 went live on Instagram, mocking Bokai's passing, saying, "I'm smoking Sam." Even more disturbing, someone in the comments section of that live stream predicted Thane Murray's murder days before it happened.
Yo, you smoking Sam?
That's a ha.
Whatever I'm smoking on, 100 smoking on. I haven't lost no stepper homies. You know what I mean? All my homies that died were good guys. You know what I mean?
I'm not gonna lie, Sam.
The moment revealed just how far the city had fallen.
Top
Community
5.
builders were becoming targets, and social media had turned into a stage for disrespect and prophecy in Toronto's ongoing cycle of
Well,
violence.
look at, bro.
The
That
death
shit
of
over
Thane
now.
Murray sent shockwaves through Regent Park. Residents and co-workers described him as the light in the community who dedicated himself to giving young people purpose and opportunity. After his murder, the Regent Park Community Center, where he worked, shut down several youth programs that he had personally run. Parents and teens said they felt unsafe, and many felt that Murray's death had undone years of progress made through the area's redevelopment. The Crown later described the killing as having a ripple effect, devastating not only his family and friends, but the entire neighborhood's sense of safety and hope. Police said the community had been left reeling by the murder of a man who tried to do everything right. Just weeks after the Regent Park execution, the violence spread back across downtown. On the evening of October 21st, 2021, gunfire broke out near Vanalley Walk and Napanee Court in the heart of Alexandra Park, the same neighborhood tied to Menace Gang. When officers arrived, they found a man and a woman suffering from gunshot wounds. Both were rushed to hospital in serious condition. Fortunately, they survived. Investigators later confirmed that the two victims were innocent bystanders, caught in the crossfire of what police and locals suspected was a retaliatory shooting for the murder of Thane Murray. Mere hours following the shooting, Menace Gang member Jabril Elmi took to Instagram to address the shooting, not with remorse, but with mockery. In a series of posts, he wrote, "They lucky they never bumped into Mr. Walk through Menace." He also taunted those behind the shooting, writing, "These hit up the 60-year-old hood gardener. What did the old people do to these nerds?" In another post, he deflected blame from himself, saying, "People are telling me this is my fault. How is this my fault? I'm out here giving back to the community and the old folks." As the violence was escalating, investigators began piecing together what had really happened that night and how far-reaching the fallout would become. Detectives worked around the clock, reviewing surveillance footage, tracing vehicle rental records, and mapping phone pings. What they uncovered pointed to a level of planning and coordination rarely seen in Toronto shootings. Noah Anderson, a Menace Gang member, had orchestrated key parts of the hit. He rented the gray Nissan Altima that was used to transport the shooters to and from the scene and booked a room at the Chelsea Hotel, using it both as a staging area and as a convenient cover story, later claiming it was for a party. Alongside Anderson were three other men, J Money, Jabril Elmi, and Rajadan Angus Campbell, who went by RD. Before leaving for Regent Park, the group switched the Altima's license plates, changed into dark clothing, and powered off their phones to avoid detection. After unleashing 59 bullets into a group of unsuspecting men, they returned to McGill Street, repeating the same process in reverse, switching plates, changing outfits, and turning their phones back on once they were clear.
They try to be smart with it. They tried to be smart with it.
Clear of the area.
They tried.
But the biggest break in the investigation didn't come from the streets. It came from the studio. On September 27th, just 9 days after the shooting, detectives searching Anderson's phone found the first draft of a new drill track titled Peppered. The track...
It's crazy though, because the feds did the same shit with my brother. My brother in jail right now, and they used some lyrics that he wrote in his notes. They was using that shit in court. And it's crazy. They tried to spin, he made a song about his girl. They tried to spin it like it was about a gun. It was crazy. It was crazy. I said, damn, the feds got a little swag with them though. I'm like, damn, they made my brother verse a little better. The way they said it, I'm like, if he was talking about a gun, that would have made it fire.
Featured 4 artists tied to Menace Gang. Mr.
He
Walker,
really was talking about his
whose
girl.
real name is Noah Anderson, J Money, identified as Junior Jamal Harvey.
This tells what's this? I forgot.
RD, known as Rajadan Angus Campbell, and Mr. Wallahi, identified as Jabriel Elmi. The lyrics weren't just music, they were a confession in disguise. The song bragged about Regent Parker's getting peppered, headshots, he had a seizure, and leaving him dead on arrival, eerily echoing the real details of Murray's death. The disrespect didn't stop with Peppered. Not long after his release from prison for the 2018 Regent Park shooting and police chase, K-Money released a diss track titled Open Mic. In the track, K-Money took aim at several deceased Regent Park bred rappers and their affiliates, including Thane, going as far as to mock their dead mothers, a move many saw as crossing every line of street and moral code.
Ceiling TBC said Quakesy Jermaine. Feel on money, I'm smoking on thing. 50 Rocky, Smokey Rondo. Like fucking, I'm rolling up Arnold. Talking on Primo, we kill you tomorrow. Get the drop, I'm calling up Cairo.
After this,
one nigga, you with a die. I'm smoking on ops, I ain't smoking a child. How the fuck?
The track wasn't just a shot at rival blocks, it was a direct provocation aimed at reopening old wounds in a city still reeling from years of back and forth bloodshed. The night after the rough draft for Peppered was made, GPS and rideshare data confirmed Anderson, RD, and J Money were together at a recording studio in Woodbridge, where they spent the night recording the final product. After leaving, they ordered a lift back to J Money's home. The following day, an audio file titled Mr. Walkthrough, RD, J Money, Pep.mp3 was sent from Anderson's phone to J Money's. The discovery of Peppered became the turning point in the investigation, the moment when police could finally connect music to murder. With the lyrics, GPS data, hotel bookings, and car records all lining up, detectives had enough evidence to identify their suspects and track their movements after the shooting. But what came next only strengthened their suspicions. Police discovered a July 2021 text exchange between Noah Anderson and an unidentified person where he bragged about the authenticity of his lyrics, replying no cap when the other contact wrote, "We don't cap rap." On his phone, investigators later found photos of him posing with guns, a handgun tucked into his waistband, a rifle resting against his head, along with stacks of cash and a video of himself masked with a devil emoji, captioned "Don't walk in the park, Regent Park." It was a chilling taunt referencing the same neighborhood where Thane Murray had been murdered. But after the murder, that same bravado vanished. As investigators began closing in, Anderson went on the run, changing his phone number, cutting off contact with his family, and moving out west under a false name. His family thought he was living with his mother, but text messages told a different story. On September 26, 2021, his stepmother messaged, "It's not very respectful to be so evasive," and by December she was still pleading, "Noah, what's going on with you these days? We haven't seen you in 3 months." When police finally located him on December 13, 2021, Anderson was arrested and found carrying fake identification linked to that alias. Just 1 day later, on December 14th, J Money was also taken into custody. Both men were charged with 1 count of first-degree murder for the death of Thane and 2 counts of attempted murder for shooting Alan and Tony. 2 of their alleged accomplices, however, remained at large. Jabriel Elmi disappeared completely, his name later appearing on Canada's Bolo Most Wanted list at number 24, along with a $50,000 reward for information leading to his capture. The manhunt stretched across the country until 2025, when Saskatoon police finally arrested him in dramatic fashion on a Canada-wide warrant. On January 31, 2025, police across Canada brought down a sprawling drug and gun trafficking.
Nigga said January 31st, 2025. Nigga, that ain't even come yet. Nigga, it ain't even the fucking 31st yet. It ain't even the 10th.
Network that stretched 5. Police across Canada brought down a sprawling drug and gun trafficking network that stretched from Toronto to Saskatchewan.
I'm high. That was earlier this year.
And even as far as Newfoundland and the Yukon. The 4-month-long investigation, dubbed Project Low-Key, was led by the Winnipeg Police Service in partnership with several other agencies. Authorities executed 9 coordinated raids on January 31st, targeting properties across multiple provinces. The operation resulted in 9 arrests and the seizure of a massive cache of weapons and narcotics. Among those arrested was Jabriel Elmi. Police said Elmi's ability to remain at large for years, while allegedly participating in a trans-provincial organized crime network, showed the sophistication and reach of the group. Investigators allege the network transported drugs from Toronto to Winnipeg using cars, chartered buses, boats, trains, parcel couriers, and commercial airlines, often relying on fake IDs to move undetected. Once in Manitoba, the drugs were allegedly distributed in Winnipeg and through First Nation communities such as Sandy Bay. Police believe Sandy Bay served as a key distribution hub, where shipments were broken down and sent north. In total, the arrests and seizures under Project Low-Key marked one of the largest interprovincial drug trafficking takedowns in recent Canadian history and brought an abrupt end to Elmi's time on the run. As of the making of this video, the 4th suspect, Rogerden Angus Campbell, is still on the run, considered armed and dangerous. The arrests of Noah Anderson, J Money, and Jabriel Elmi marked the start of one of Toronto's most high-profile murder trials, one that would expose how music and long-standing neighborhood rivalries culminated in a brutal act of revenge.
Citizen.
In April 2025, after nearly 3 years of anticipation, the murder trial finally began. Prosecutors laid out a chilling timeline of precision and planning, showing how the 4 accused had orchestrated every move leading up to the Regent Park shooting. They revealed that Noah Anderson had rented the gray Nissan Altima used in the attack, while the group switched its license plates just before heading into the neighborhood. Surveillance evidence also showed them changing clothes in a nearby alley both before and after the shooting. Meanwhile, forensic analysis confirmed that their cell phones were powered off throughout the operation and only turned back on once they had returned to safety. They had even booked a room at the Chelsea Hotel, using the guise of a party as their cover for being downtown that night. The Crown argued that the crime wasn't just premeditated, it was performed. Within days, the shooters allegedly immortalized the murder in a drill track titled Peppered, boasting about Regent Park getting peppered and leaving victims DOA. A rap expert, Dr. Evans, testified that while drill music often relies on exaggeration, the detail and timing in Peppered were far too specific to dismiss as fiction, suggesting the song served as both a confession and a trophy for the killers. At the center of the trial was J Money. He was just 20 years old when the shooting happened. Defense counsel tried to argue that he had a difficult upbringing, claiming he was traumatized when his father was diagnosed with brain cancer in 2012 and required surgery and chemotherapy.
Lawyers be saying this shit in court like that shit means something. He had a troubled life. Alright, 30 years. Don't give a fuck about that shit, bro. They don't give a fuck if you tell them you had a troubled life, nigga.
The defense also noted his parents, sister, and cousin remained supportive and attended trial when their work schedules permitted. But the court found no connection between that background and the crime. The level of planning and the sheer disregard for human life left the judge with only one option. By July 2025, both Anderson and Harvey were found guilty. The sentence was automatic, life in prison with no parole eligibility for 25 years, plus concurrent life terms for the 2 attempted murders. The judge described the attack as an execution and pointed out that 59 shots were fired in public, near a neighborhood pool area, with significant collateral harm to the community. During sentencing, 17 victim impact statements were read, including from the victim's mother, who said she still couldn't bear to look at his photo, and his father, who called his son his best friend. One youth worker described the loss of Murray as a wake-up call for the community. If Thane was a victim, no one is safe. J Money and Noah Anderson will now spend the majority of their lives behind bars. Meanwhile, Rogerden Angus Campbell remains on the run, and Jabriel Elmi's trial has yet to begin, proof that even years later, the story of Regent Park's deadliest feud is still not over.
Dickheads. Dickheads. Yeah, I see Boost drop. I ain't do it though. Man, he dropped on my birthday. You know, supposed to not celebrate my birthday and react to Tiny Boost, nigga. That nigga could wait. UK Drill. What up, though? Yeah, that nigga shit could wait. I'm finna get on kick, though.
Yo, what's good, Mama Lee?
Hi, brother. What you want?
Chilling right now. I got my driver. I'm riding in this pink limousine right here. You know what I'm saying? Big boy. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I said well, come to you know where the cafe is?
Yeah. Just send the low. I'll pull up. I got my driver right here.
Okay.
Y'all be cool on here now. Y'all be cool. Y'all be cool. So, what that?